Episode 16, Shlongy Returns.
Saturday rolled into Barton County the same way it always did. Slow, lazy, and a little hungover from Friday night. Frank's garage was alive by mid-morning. The big door sat halfway up, Cooler sweating in the corner, Alan Jackson drifting from the Bluetooth speaker. Harry whittled a crooked block of wood. Ricky was shirtless before noon. And Hudson filmed Larson sprawled across a pile of shop rags like he was posing for a calendar no one asked for. Then came the crunch of gravel on the drive. Every head turned. A dented silver truck wheezed to a stop, exhaust puffing like an old smoker. The driver's door groaned open, and out stepped Chester Shlongy Tuggle. 5 years older than Frank, a little rougher, a little louder, and with a grin that could get him out of or into any bar fight from here to Kentucky. "Franco," he shouted, arms wide. Still sitting in the same damn garage after all these years. Frank blinked, then broke into a grin. He shot up from his chair and met him halfway. They slapped hands, hugged, and then shoved each other back like a couple of wrestlers who never grew up. "Shlongy, you son of a gun," Frank laughed. "I thought you got lost in Milton with a case of old Milwaukee and a bad idea." "Damn near did," Chester said. "But Barton County was calling. Figured y'all might miss me." "Who the hell's this outlaw?" Ricky asked, beer dangling from his hand. "Family," Frank said proudly. "Cousin Chester, the schlong himself." Hudson whispered to his phone, breaking news, new character unlocked. "Trouble incoming." Harry didn't even look up. "Lord help us," he muttered. "Trouble's back, Uncle Harry," Chester boomed, clapping him on the shoulder. "Still drinking out of that jar," Harry raised it. "Cheaper than therapy." Diane appeared in the doorway, cigarette already lit. "Well, if it isn't my nephew, I should have known when I heard the devil laughing out front." "Good to see you too, Aunt Diane," Chester said with a grin. "Don't worry, I didn't come to steal your ashtray." "Good," she snapped. "'Cause that's about all I've got patience for today." The garage broke into laughter. Frank handed Chester a cold beer. "Welcome home, Shlongy." "Don't mind if I do," he said, popping the tab like he'd never left. By noon, the beers were sweating faster than the men. The Bluetooth speaker rolled through Brooks and Dunn. Ricky was 3 cans deep, and Hudson was already grinning behind the camera. "All right," Frank said, tipping his hat back. "Hudson, you want to know what real Barton County childhood looked like? You're about to meet the ghosts of our bad decisions." "Oh Lord," Harry muttered. "I'm steeing out of this." Chester cracked a fresh beer. "Let's tell him about the shower. Franco." Frank groaned. "Here we go." So, Chester started. We're camping at the county park. Franco's maybe 7 or 8, and we get into the shower stalls. This little maniac grabs the family-size shampoo bottle and dumps the entire thing out at once. Whole damn bottle gone in one go. Hudson blinked. "Why?" Frank smirked. "Because it was there." And because, Chester added, he was trying to make himself a bubble palate. Said he was the king of Disney. Frank burst out laughing. "Yeah, and we're both cussing each other out the whole time. I'm screaming, 'You made me do it, you idiot.' And he's yelling back, 'You're the one holding the bottle.' Every word out of our mouths would have made a sailor blush." Harry raised a brow, sipping his jar. That explains a lot. Chester was nearly crying from laughter. Next thing we know, the campers 2 sites over start hollering for the host, because they can hear 2 foul-mouthed kids raising hell in the shower house. The camp host comes storming in, red in the face, soap everywhere, drags us both out by the ears, bubbles still dripping down our heads, and marshes us right back to Uncle Harry. Harry nodded. "I remember that. Paid my water bill that night." Hudson laughed so hard he nearly dropped his phone. "Better than the time Franco got us jumped by teenage girls," Chester said. "Oh, here we go," Frank muttered. Ricky leaned in. "Wait, you got beat up by girls?" "Technically, he did," Chester said, grinning. "We were playing cards at the campground. Franco here decides to teach me how to cheat. Cleaned out a group of girls a few years older, took all their candy money. They figured it out, and next thing I know, he's running through the campground with a pack of teenage Amazons throwing marshmallows and flip-flops at him. Frank pointed his beer while you sat there laughing your ass off. Couldn't breathe, Chester said. Funniest damn thing I ever saw, Harry sighed. Yep, paid my water bill again that night too. Everyone laughed, even Diane on the porch. Then Chester leaned forward, grin turning sly. Tell him about the cinder block. Frank froze. Oh, hell no. Ricky perked up. This already sounds good. Hudson's eyes widened. What, cinder block? Chester slapped his knee. All right, fine. I'll tell it. So picture little Franco, maybe 7. We're wandering down by the old trailer park, one of those places half abandoned, full of stray cats and bad ideas. I point at this busted up single wide and say, bet you can't hit that window. Dumbest sentence of your life, Frank interrupted. Chester kept going. So this kid looks around, finds a full-size cinder block, hauls it up like he's built from anger and sugar, and hurls it straight through that window, way over his head. Whole damn trailer rattled. Sounded like a cannon went off. Hudson's jaw dropped. You threw a cinder block? Frank sighed. I was 7 and stupid. Don't get any ideas. Ricky was laughing so hard he almost spilled his drink. 7, brother. Were you trying to get arrested? Wouldn't have mattered, Harry said. Sheriff already had a punch card for this family. Diane blew smoke. You're lucky you didn't knock the power out for the whole block. Hudson shook his head. So what happened? Frank grinned. Whole neighborhood came running. We hid in the ditch till dark. Never told a soul, till now. Chester raised his can. Legendary arm. Kids should have played for the Reds. Frank turned to Hudson. Don't even think about trying it. That's not acceptable behavior. Yeah, Hudson said, smiling. Got it, Dad. Good, Frank muttered. Because I don't have bail money. The whole garage erupted again. The stories rolled on. Fish game wardens, giant uncontrolled bonfires, a few dark humor jokes, only funny to them, each memory messier than the last. And the more they drank, the younger they all felt. By dusk, the air turned cold enough for hoodies, and the Bluetooth speaker hummed through the static of too many skipped songs. The cooler was mostly empty, but the laughter hadn't slowed. Frank and Chester were back to back in their chairs, swapping stories only they could tell. Then Chester's grin turned sly. Remember JW? The garage went quiet. Even Ricky stopped mid-swig. Hudson looked up. Who's JW? Frank stared at Chester for a long moment, then burst out laughing. Deep, full, infectious. Chester followed suit until both of them were nearly falling out of their chairs. You don't want to know, Frank said between laughs. Nightmares, Chester wheezed. That's all you'd get. Harry shook his head. JW still creeps me out, and I don't even know who he is. Keep it that way, Frank said, wiping tears from his eyes. Man's a ghost story in combat boots. Only combat boots. Hudson groaned. You guys are the worst. Damn right, Chester said, clinking his can against Frankson. The best? Ricky raised his beer to chaos and cousinhood. They cheered, cans clinking. Diane yelled from inside. Keep it down. Some of us like peace. Peace is overrated. Ricky hollered back, laughing. The sun sank, turning the garage orange and gold. Ricky grabbed a broom handle and pretended it was a mic stand. Doug wandered up halfway through, drawn by the music and noise, still holding a half-melted milkshake from the gas station. What's going on here, he asked. Family reunion, Frank said. Unplanned and under the influence? Best kind, Doug grinned, pulling up a lawn chair. The music drifted from Alan Jackson to Tracy Lawrence, then stopped. Frank scrolled through his playlist, thumb hovering over the screen. He looked at Chester and smirked. This one's for you, Shlongy. The Bluetooth crackled to life, and the gritty opening of Pearl Jam's Alive ripped through the garage. Ricky whooped. Hell yeah. Finally, some rock. Chester closed his eyes, nodding along. Now that's music. Takes me back. For the next half hour, country gave way to grunge, Metallic, Soundgarden, songs from the years they still thought they'd take on the world. Ricky air guitared, Chester drummed on the cooler, Frank leaned back with his whiskey, smiling like the weight of the past few months had finally slipped off his shoulders. Hudson sat quietly on the steps, filming a short clip, not for YouTube, not even for the page, just for himself. His dad, his cousin, Ricky, all of them laughing, yelling lyrics half the neighborhood could hear. When Alive ended, Chester exhaled, that grin still stuck on his face. Damn, Franco. I missed this. Frank nodded. Yeah, me too. Think I might hang around Barton a while, Chester said. Got a lot of catching up to do. As long as you don't throw any cinder blocks, Harry called from his chair. Can't make promises, Chester grinned. The laughter rolled again. Before long, Ricky was passed out in his seat, Diane was muttering inside about grown men acting like teenagers. And Larson was snoring under the workbench, tail twitching to the beat of the music. Frank switched the playlist back to Tracy Lawrence. Paint Me a Birmingham filled the quiet night air. Chester leaned his head back, eyes half closed. Harry sipped from his jar and smiled. Doug nodded off mid-song. The garage smelled like beer, smoke, and wood dust, the fragrance of Barton County comfort. Hudson whispered softly into his phone. One cousin, one long overdue night of chaos. One Pearl Jam encore before the whiskey. This was life at Frank's place.